Just remember that Pop Culture Minefield, when it's discussing rumors, are just rumors. You have to take them with a grain of salt.
This week on a very special Pop Culture Minefield.
I told you I'm okay.
Here, if you swear on your mother's life. My mother is not alive.
It was a baby! She smothered her own baby!
What the hell was that?
Didn't it just happen a few months ago? Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Pop Culture Minefield. That's Keith.
And that's Gerry.
And we're here to talk about some nerdy nerd stuff. And this specifically is important nerd stuff. This is dealing with none other than Mikey Sutton.
It's a Mikey Sutton News Alert.
So we have a very special 4th of July, and happy 4th of July to everybody, because we got scoops. Now, the scoops, as Keith and I talked before, isn't just ours. We have our scoops, but each show that is involved with Mikey is got their own special exclusive.
Midnight's Edge, Lords of the Longbox, and Pete's Basement. We'll also be sharing scoops from Mikey today.
It kind of reminds me of the Secret Wars with Marvel Comics, where you had to keep buying all these other comics to get the whole story. That's Mikey. Mikey's Marvel now. But Mikey Sutton is, he's really gaining some traction. And I'm glad to be part of this with him because he's a friend of ours and we've been following him for a long time. I mean, even before we even knew him personally, we read Cinefantastique magazine, and he wrote for Cinefantastique. So this guy has been in the business for a long time, and it's nice to see that he's getting some recognition for a lot of the research that he does as a journalist. And now he's, as I call him, Scoop Master General. And we salute you, Mikey Sutton. And of course, his agent is Baum, and Baum is also a friend of mine. I've been friends with Baum for a while, and Baum introduces, and thank you, Baum, for doing that. You are the bomb, Baum. You're the bomb diggity bomb. Yo. And with that, let's get into these scoops.
Okay, well, as Mr. Sutton had reported before, if the Snyder cut is successful, it'll open doors for other DC projects to become offered to him. Snyder's has a dark vision that is best presented without compromise. And according to Sutton's inside sources, although Snyder hasn't been approached for any of the DC projects yet, there have been discussions about what they would be interested in him doing, especially for HBO Max. So, on HBO Max, Snyder would have his freedom away from the shackles of the popcorn compromise and the PG-13 restrictions. A live-action version of the video game Injustice, Gods Among Us, is a project that has been talked about at Warner Brothers before, but went nowhere. Of course, for those of us that have been watching a lot of the DCEU films by Zack Snyder, there's a lot of injustice that's actually in Batman v Superman, in the way that they have the characters move and fight. Basically, HBO Max, Snyder could just tell the story in several hours as opposed to just 2, and bathe in the gloom, and it would appeal to young and old, a cool, edgy, a treat for the eyes, But basically, that's your first scoop from Mikey Sutton. So looking at Snyder's possible taking over of Injustice. Now, there is a second scoop from Mikey. And his is the fact that Michael Keaton may not be the only Batman that would be returning. So, according to Mikey Sutton, sources at AT&T are open to Ben Affleck starring and completing the Batman film he walked away from for HBO Max. Now, there were rumors that previously circulated about this, and insiders do confirm that there's a chance that this is happening. However, it all depends on the success of the Snyder Cut. Sutton has heard that Affleck would actually be open to the idea, provided that he's given creative freedom, unlike the interference from Jeff Johns from before, that actually torpedoed the project and also didn't exactly help Affleck's personal life at that time. Mentally and emotionally, Affleck feels he's ready to do this, and is experiencing much less pressure than he had before. If greenlit, this would become a one-off movie separate from the Robert Pattinson Dark Knight theatrical run, but set squarely within the DCEU that Zack Snyder originated. Now, with Deathstroke as the villain, it has been said that AT&T wouldn't be opposed to having this be a mature audience or R-rated cut if the material called for it, since it's HBO Max. There's no concerns of ticket sales being lost if kids aren't let in, which is really cool. So there's a lot more writing on this Snyder Cut than just the Snyder Cut. So this could actually be allowing us to basically have this along with many other things that you will be finding out once you check out those other shows today. Back to you, Gerry.
Well, I'm just so mesmerized by looking at that bat suit right now.
Well, I had an idea that I thought would be really, really cool. Is since Michael Keaton is now the senior most DC film personality, meaning I think he is the only one still left alive that has been making DC feature films, because Christopher Reeve isn't around, and there really weren't, nobody really from any of the DC movies made prior to the 1950s are still around. So that leaves Michael Keaton. So my thought was they should do a takeoff of what Marvel Comics did with Mr. Fantastic, Reed Richards, and have a scene where you have all of the living Batman actors in one scene together and call it the Council of the Bat.
Oh, that's it.
And kind of model that on the whole World Council scene from The Winter Soldier, where Michael Keaton is able to use the multiverse to contact all the different versions of Batman. So that would be Christian Bale, Ben Affleck, Robert Pattinson, George Clooney, Val Kilmer, and they would all just basically be like a version of the Black Widow society that Isaac Asimov created, where you would have a problem that one Bruce Wayne couldn't think his way through. So who's the best person to help you solve? Bruce would go to other Bruce Waynes, and they would all figure it out.
I don't know if they would do it. I just
it's a short scene, and it look, for a lot of these actors, it would be too much to expect them to get into shape, especially for a cameo appearance. But if it were just a cameo appearance, something that you could easily do, it wouldn't have to be them physically all together, but you could do it in such a way to whereas if you keep everybody on screens or as holograms around Michael Keaton, his version of Bruce Wayne.
They could do CG and get away with it.
Yeah.
Of course, the sad part is, Val Kilmer can't talk anymore. Not
Yeah.
he used to. It's tragic to see what happened to him. I love Val Kilmer.
Mm-hmm. But I think it'd be a great. I think personally,
I also hated George Clooney even more. So my daughter, those are her favorite Batmans, and I'm just like, I hated them.
I get what they were trying to do with both those Batmen.
Well, that's what this goes into that. we're not going to go into a long thing about it. It's Warner Brothers always interfering. And that's why it's nice to see a smart company in charge of Warner right now that's forcing them. It's sort of like seeing cattle being guided through gates. It's like that's what AT&T is doing to Warner right now, which is
pretty much.
I'm enjoying it.
And they need it.
Oh, they do. Because I've had a problem with Warner Brothers for a long time, even though I've dealt with them in the past with Blade Zone, and they've always been nice. The departments we work with always nice, but as far as executives go with the movie end of things, not so cool. These are business guys that really, in my opinion, aren't even that good at business, trying to be in charge of creative, and they've ruined Brian, ruined it.
This is a last ditch effort with a lot of this stuff, and I know AT&T, their thought on it is they're just ready to get rid of anybody else who's willing to stand up and cause any more problems. And I still think there are quite a few people left inside of Warner Brothers who are all about that. So AT&T, they got their own headhunters on this. They're going to root out the rest of these problem people.
Well, AT&T is all about that bat, about that bat. So, okay, guys.
I love those feelings.
Yeah. So, guys, remember to like, subscribe, comment on our page, check out our videos. This is our channel. We got a lot of cool stuff to look at.
Check us out on Facebook, on Instagram, and on Twitter.
And don't forget, this last weekend, we got a new video from Game Girl, Dee Crowley, and another one coming up this week, too, an unboxing. This one was a pushing box opening, and she has another one coming up here, I do believe, Monday. So we should be posting that. With that, guys, cool. That's Keith.
That's Gerry.
And this is Pop Culture Minefield.
Happy 4th of July.
Be safe. Be safe. Happy 4th of July. And with that, get the hell out of here.
Hey guys, thanks for watching Pop Culture Minefield. If you've enjoyed the show, please remember to like and subscribe, and don't forget to hit the bell icon. Remember, you can find us at Pop Culture Minefield on both Facebook and Instagram. Thank you again.
Y'all come back now, you hear?